This water is cold and it's old. And if you look closely, there's substantial amounts of mold. It's been a while. This is the one, they never came back and repiped it. That is still the plan, but this is where we used to swish in the beginning of the swishing days. And after the recent storms, it's got a lot of grooves and dips and everything else that is going to make it, hopefully, worthwhile to swish. Louisville Slugger, YB10. Oh, I was wondering how I got water in it. I guess it gets water in it through the bottom. So we're gonna swish a magnet fish and every other thing that ends in ish after we wash this off my hands. Let's do a quick look though before we do anything else. Really, I don't know if I want this little rock dang moved yet because we may use it. So just the first glance walk through. There's a piece of copper. There's always copper in these things. Always. At least this time. That's gonna be a good spot. That's gonna be a decent spot, maybe. I don't have my glove on yet. We used to have this hole so deep that it was like knee deep, but it's filled in, and they poured so much concrete in here, and I'm hoping to get everything we possibly can out of here before they pipe it and cover it. And if I don't fall down, we'll sneak up here and look around. It is so slick. And it's deeper than it has been in a long time. So we're gonna just take a peek. See if there's anything new. I don't see anything. It is so cold under here. I think I broke my copper. I'm carrying it around. I don't want to lose it. So let's go back. If I could get to the bottom of all this, I'm still under the bridge. I started to move, but I decided not to. There's no telling what would be under here. I thought that was a lure. I don't know what that green thing is. That is a dog. It is a dog. And I saw a fork. Right there's a fork. I'm doing the bend over talking, so in case you're wondering, now you know. This is going to be some of the best swishing water we've had in a while. As far as deep, clear, sun's right over us, that's good. So all we gotta do is pick the spot we're gonna start. I say we start easy with this hole right here. Once I get out of it and get out of the shade, I'll be able to get you placed in a good spot. So that's where it is. I got my magnet on a stick to start off with. No, I said right there. We need to start right there. That other big hole you just saw, and that piece of metal is a piece off a fence. So we'll start right here. One of the problems with doing this is if you eat first, you're gonna have some situations. because you gotta stay bent over. So we get all the big rocks out first. And let it clear. I don't see anything in there. This may be okay. I'm jumping the gun, ain't I? So if you never visit us when we swish inner city creeks, you got to go to the heart of a town, preferably the south side, which where the water runs downhill, depending on which side of the earth you're on. And you find a creek that runs through the city, and when it pops out, everything that gets lost and dropped washes in the city sewer system, and we go get it before it leaves the town, if we can. Just a few nails. Now once we get deeper, there may be a lot more in there. We won't know until we get a lot deeper. Also, this one has a little twisty on the side where the rocks are, so I can't tell what's underneath there. So let it clear up, put the magnet back in there. And there's nothing. So this may be one where we just have to see it. There's a piece of brown slag on the left, that rock right there, which is actually glass. That is a zipper pull. They are brass, so they won't stick to a magnet. That is not what that is. That is a pole off of something, like a negative positive pole. That is a brass fitting, so it won't stick to the magnet. The good thing about that is we're seeing stuff that doesn't stick to the magnet. There's the brown slag. You have to Google slag, or I can just tell you. It's left over from the iron making processes. I bent over and I just ate a massive amount of Chick-fil-A, so there's really no room for words to come out of my face because it requires air, and there's no room for air or error. It's awesome because the hole gets deeper. Oh, you know what I need? I need to go back up to the wagon and get my fancy new hammer with the giant pry bar. That is not slag. And the goal is pull coins out of here, or jewelry, or weapons, or anything. And it's happened, hasn't it, everyone? There's another piece of copper. There's always copper in here. I got a nice little pile in buckets back at the homestead. I'm waiting on that to clear up, and we're gonna peek. We're not gonna mess around here long. We're gonna go right there, so you can see better and it washes better. I see nothing. But rocks. So we'll let that clear. We'll swish it real good. We're gonna go down here and start cleaning this one out. What you want to do first is get all the dirt and trash off the top, so you can kind of get it moving. Then you'll be able to see clean rocks underneath it in just a minute. It's a little cleaner. And then you have to ever so aggressively move the rocks you can to the side, but don't put them downstream, because then they'll just be right there in your way in a few minutes when you get tired of this spot. Of course, the next big storm, they'll all be back anyway. Okay, magnet. Nothing but nails. So we got a ways to go in here. So let's get some rocks out. I moved a lot more rocks. So let's see what shows up. We're still not deep enough to see anything of interest yet. But you can see all this that's washed up already. Just some swish in it. Nothing. We got to get to the downtown brown. A little deeper, looking better. That silver thing is not a mercury dime, nor is it a barber. It is a stainless washer. But we have found our share of mercury dimes in this creek. This particular creek. Maybe a few more of these rocks. And try again. And if it's a hard concrete bottom, we're not going to find anything old. If we can get down to black dirt, we'll find something old. Okay, there's a coin. Standard issue library, I believe. It is. Alright, a lot more nails. That's good. We'll get those out. And they left me a giant hole on the side down there where I will throw all the iron. And it'll go back to iron, dust to dust. It has settled a little bit more. I'll tell you what that looks like. It's not, but it looks like, you ever seen anybody take that's a lead cap off a roofing nail from many moons ago. Usually when you find these, you need to find the closest crack and put it in there. It's like a vending machine. I thought it was, I mean, I knew it wasn't, but I've seen mercury dimes. I found a mercury dime that was carved with nothing but the head left in it, or the face. So I guess we gotta switch this again. We gotta get all the bigger stuff out. I should have started downstream, but I didn't. Magnet's clean and ready for another round. You get all the iron out of the way, then you take less chances of sticking needles in your hands. Till you go to pull all this off, then you'll get needles in your hand. But that's okay. You knew better. I do not see any other coins yet. I don't think. So let's do it again. We cannot leave here with one library. It is not very professional. It looks like we're going to be leaving here, this section anyway, with one library. Unless we got all that to drop, but the only thing about that is it does fill up downstream. So let's start right there. before you go any further, and then we'll break the little rock dang out of there and see what's in there. Now if this washes out soon, it'd be a good thing. Another piece of brass. I don't know what I did with that library. I tossed it. Oh, I see it over there. Right above my head. We need a spot that's old. Now these rocks are old. I know all rocks are old. I mean placed in this spot, old. Slag is old, but it's not as old as that rock. What is that little piece of jewelry? Oh, you know what that is? That is a tie clasp thing. And that's just a nail where the iron has leached out and hung onto it. That's just simply a finishing nail. Let's move the nail. So there it is. There's our first piece of jewelry. Look at that. So good. We're into some old stuff. This ain't your grandmother's Buick. Oh, wait a minute. That's another story. So we'll put this... I thought it was a hairpin, but now that I see the little chain, I'm trying to get it where I can see it a little better. Maybe it'll say something if I talk nicely to it. We'll put it right there. So this is good. This is a good spot. We have harvested something kind of cool already. So let's do it again. We'll move all this out of our way. And then we gotta swish it. I know it's hard to see, but I gotta do it to get deeper into the playground. Something just stuck in my hand, but that's okay. Yeah, I see something on the left too, but I don't think it's anything but a cable for cable TV connector. I believe that's what that is. We'll place it in a lost and found. See where it all stops up here on the edge is good too. So let's get everything out of that crack. I'm excited about our one piece of jewelry. That's considered jewelry, isn't it? I mean, would you consider a tie pin jewelry? Or not a pin, but you know what I'm screaming. If this dirt will turn black, then we know we've made it through the rocks and into the early Iron Age days of this town anyway. That is a hunk of lead stuck to iron. I got the lead off. I mean, I got the iron off. That is a something else. It doesn't really have a name. It's like that spot between your toes. What do they call that? You know, we went to Buc-ee's and they kind of pride themselves on the cleanest restrooms. There were a lot of them. There were a lot of little rooms in that bathroom. And about 600 wall mounts. I mean, it was a regular Game of Thrones in there, but I have to admit, it was clean. Yeah, if I get some of these big rocks out of here, and I'll turn the camera off to do that, so you don't have to sit here and hear this. That's like a blue piece of slag. An incredible, non-edible blue. It's not. But anyway, what I was saying is I'll turn it off. We'll get through this clay, and that's when it should start turning dark deep in there. Alright, I'll just switch the daylights out of it. That makes it dirty downstream all the way. That's okay, this is our playground for a minute. My phone ringeth. Okay, it's cleared up a lot. I did the telephone talk. If this big rock will come out of here, this will be a superb hole. These worms are interesting that live in this creek. They are alive. I don't know how. I guess worms just stay alive. I'm gonna put, whoops. Oh, you're good. You're finding your way. Making your way downtown. I don't know if this is gonna move or not. If it did, oh my goodness. Are you ready to get crunk? You ready to get creek drunk? Okay, there it is. That's a big deal to me because we're down to brown slag. That's 100 years old. There's a black one I pulled out. And when it's underneath, it's even better. That is another stainless washer, not deep, lock washer. So let's do this. Not as hard though, so we don't want to lose our stuff. Give it 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, y'all are in a different time zone, so 8 seconds is over. So let's go back and look. Let it settle down. I do see blue slag right there. Relay my first and second. That's green. We'll put that over there. And we'll go right here. Take that out. Okay, we got no choice but to get the big stuff out. And switch the daylights out of it again. One library, a couple of tiny pieces of copper that I have managed to lose. That's probably gone. I was stepping on it right there, but you can look. All this new flavor came out of there. There's another piece of black slag popping its head out. Where did that piece of copper go? I don't know either. That's the one I thought was blue slag right there. That's not. Okay, let's stand still. Another brown slag. Another piece of brass fitting. We need coins and jewelry and stuff like that. We need to get all that out of there. Oh, see, it's getting really deep. If we can get the dirt brown, black, that's when it's gonna get fun. But we're not there yet. You're ready to give up, aren't you? Don't. Because something of interest is gonna come out of here in a minute. What is that? And there may not be anything of any interest that comes out of here. There's only 8 ways to tell. And we're on the second way. The first is find somebody that poured this thing and threw something in here. They could tell you what's in here if it was theirs. Chances are they're not available. And it goes straight to messages. Since that's the hole we started in, and it goes under, I'm thinking there's a lot of stuff under there. So if we get that rock out and that rock out, we'll have a little spot to go through. It did move. Now we gotta just hope that all this moves. Okay, that's not that old. So now we're gonna get to see under that rock where the little cave was. Okay, there, that's a little older stuff. See it? Not this. That is a heavy piece of aluminum. But in here, some older bolts. You're ready to leave, aren't you? Well, don't go, because in a minute you're gonna wish you had hung around. Oh, we didn't clean it off yet. We'll go back to that in a minute. Let's just look. That was just a little shiny piece of glass. You can hear the stuff jingling around. Okay, it's just nails. See, it's getting dark right there. That's really good. If you can get through this clay base right here, sometimes there's stuff on the bottom. That is a blue piece of slag right there. Another hunk of iron. There's gonna be something. Hold on now. Don't go. Wait a minute. Let's get deeper. There's nothing, is there? We should have had some stuff by now. Let's get this hunk of clay out of here. There's a brown piece of slag stuck in it. Yeah, I'm about to wrap it up too, because we're not getting anything. There's a massive hunk of iron. What is that? It's not a massive hunk of iron. I don't see anything. At all. At all. I can't move that one. Oh yes. I can't give up. Let's go to this one. Let's see what's under it. I gotta know what's under this rock. glass. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm done with this video because y'all are going crazy and I'm going crazy. But in the meantime, after I go feed again, I move all these rocks out. So come back for the next video and let's see what's under all these. If we can get these big rocks out of here where it starts washing a gully out right here, it'll get deeper on its own. So what do we find? After all that work, it's like a bad day metal detecting. We found a tie clip in a library. Thanks for watching my videos.